Hi, this is Matt with Bob Johnson's Computer Stuff. Today we're going to be doing a video on general Toughbook maintenance. This applies to not only Toughbooks, but just most computers in general. As you use your computer will build up temporary files and will begin to slow down some, or you may even get viruses. So here's the steps you can do to try to help prevent viruses and help clean them up, and also just help overall keep your computer running as smoothly as possible. Okay, so the first thing you'll want to do is you'll want to have some sort of antivirus program. There's plenty out there. I personally prefer Malwarebytes and AVG, both of which have a free version that you can download online, which is what I'm going to do, and I'll show you the installs for these real quick. They're fairly quick to install, and I'll show you the beginning processes of launching the scans for those units. So to get AVG or Malwarebytes, just go to Google and Google them, as usually like the first or second link there. See this link here says Malwarebytes, free anti-malware and internet security software. That's the link you're going to want to click. If it's for home use, you would click for home. If it's for business, you would click for business. In this example, I'm just going to click for home because the home version is the only one that has a free version you can download, just for the example of this video. Okay, so when it pops up, if you're planning on using it on multiple computers, you can save it, or you can run it. I prefer to just save it anyways, but it doesn't really matter which option you do. And then it's going to ask you for permission to install it. You just go ahead and give it permission. You click OK after you choose your language. Click Next. You accept the licensing agreement, which is right here if you care to read through it. You click Next. Click Next again. Click Next. And you click Next. And then you click Install. Now it's actually installing the program. And I always go through and I uncheck this Enable Free Trial of the free trial, and it'll just put the free program on there instead of the free trial, because the free trial, I believe it's after 15 or 30 days, I forget the exact number of days, it'll try to get you to upgrade to the paid version, and then you have to revert back to the free version. So it's easier just to go to the free version. You can always upgrade to the paid version later if you decide to get the paid version. So then you just click Finish, and your program should be installed and should pop up on its own. Now, Malwarebytes is fairly easy to use. All you have to do is click Scan Now, and it'll check for updates beforehand, which you can see here. And then it'll go through its various stages of checking your computer for viruses and infections. And when it's done, if it pops up and finds anything, it'll tell you how serious it is and exactly what it is. It'll probably find a lot of cookies and potentially unwanted software files, as it calls it, which in and of themselves is not necessarily a bad thing. If you see where it says a Trojan virus or malware or adware or anything like that, that's when you know you had something on your computer that shouldn't have been there. And at the end, usually you'll just click Fix All Problems, and it'll or repair your computer or something along those lines. I forget the exact term, but it'll be obvious when it pops up. There'll be a button there that you press, and it usually has to restart afterwards, but it'll go ahead and clean up your computer from any potential viruses that it may find. I'm just going to go ahead and cancel this scan because it can take a little bit of time, and I don't want to fill up the video just waiting for a scan to finish. So you would just click finish. If it found any, it would just uninstall them and restart. Okay, so the next one we're going to do is AVG. The same thing, go back to Google and just Google AVG. The first link here besides the ad is the one you want. It'll take you to the home page and you'll click where it says free download. AVG's page changes quite frequently, so the location of the download might be in a slightly different spot, but it should be easy enough to find. AVG takes a little bit longer to run, and the free version of it does ask you to upgrade to the paid version. It'll pop up every now and then asking you to upgrade to the paid version. You don't have to, but some people don't like AVG because they find that annoying. But in my experience, it does a decent job at helping to prevent viruses and helping to keep your computer clean, which is why I like to use it. You can either click continue and do the custom continue and use the default options. I usually click continue custom installation. That way I can tell it to use just the basic protection and not use the trial, because it's like with the Malwarebytes, they by default try to set you up with the trial of the pro version, which you have to revert back to the free version after 30 days unless you want to pay for it. It may take a minute for this to install. So in the meantime, let's go ahead and download the next two programs that we're going to install. The next two programs that we're going to install are going to be CCleaner, which helps clean up temporary files, and you can also use it to clean your registry, and Defraggler. Defraggler is just a defragging program. If you have a solid state drive or a solid state hybrid drive, do not defrag your hard drive. Defragging, you should only defrag a standard hard drive, a standard hard disk drive. You do not want to defrag a solid state drive. It will decrease the lifespan of your solid state drive. So you would just want to go to Google and look up just search it again. CCleaner is one of the first programs I just mentioned. This first link here is the one you're looking for. And they have the free version, or you can get the pro version, or you can pay for it if you want. I just use the free version. Click download. It'll go ahead and download it. I'm going to save it because I'm not going to run the install at this point in time. I'll do that in a minute. I just don't want to run it at the same time as I'm installing something else. So we're going to do the same thing for Defraggler. It's also made by the same company and can actually be found on the same website, but just for ease, we're going to go back to Google and just search it. Defraggler is just a defragging program that, and Microsoft does come with the defragging program by default, but in my opinion, Defraggler does a much better job than the Microsoft defragging program. For one, it seems to do it faster and it seems to do it more efficiently. But not only that, the Defraggler also has the option to shut down your computer after it's done defragging. or to even just close the program after it's done defragging. So say it's the end of the workday and you want to run the defraggler and just have your computer shut off afterwards, you can do that without having to go in and manually set a task in your task manager to shut down your computer after so much time. Okay, so we have all the files that we need downloaded, so I'm just going to close the window for now. As you can see, it's the AVG, the main program is installed, but the actual antivirus is not finished installing yet. It's almost done. It's 93% right now. Should be done shortly, and after that's done, I'll show you how you would run a quick scan with the AVG, and then we'll go through and I'll show you how to run the CCleaner and the defraggler. In the meantime, another thing you can do to help speed up your computer and help keep it running well, I would generally not advise storing a bunch of files on your desktop. The more you have stored on your desktop, the slower the computer's going to perform. If you want to store files on your desktop for quick ease, I would suggest doing shortcuts rather than directly storing the files on your desktop, because the shortcut takes up less space and less loading time than the actual file itself does. So it's better to say you have a host of files that you want to show up on the desktop. I would almost make a separate folder on the under the C drive, or even directly under your user file, and then just make a shortcut to your desktop. So for example, I'm going to make a folder here called desktop documents. And then once you have the folder of the location you want to show up on your desktop, you can right click it and you can hover over to send to, and if you click send to desktop, it'll create a shortcut on the desktop, which you can see here. And then you can dump the files directly into that, and it won't store it directly on the desktop, which will save space on your, it will save your computer a little bit of speed from having to have it loaded on the desktop at all times. Okay, so the free version of AVG appears to be done installing. You would just open up the AVG. It's updating the virus definitions now, but you would just open up the AVG, you would click scan now, and it will continue its scan. And if it finds anything, it'll go ahead and it'll take care of it. And when it's done, you'll click finish or repair your computer or something along those lines. And this can take a while as well, especially the first time you do it as a whole scan. If you do a quick scan, it's usually fairly quickly, but being as this is the first time it's installed on this computer and it's a whole computer scan, it's going to take a while. So I'm going to stop this just to save time. I'm just showing you how it would work. So we went over running antivirus. We went over clearing up your desktop space, saving it elsewhere. Another thing you can do, you don't have to do this, but every now and then you may want to go in and just to clear up space, just delete any old downloads that you don't need. So for example, we already have the Malwarebytes installed. I'm going to delete that. We already have the AVG installed. I'm going to delete that. And that'll just clear up hard drive space, because after a while, especially if you download things frequently, your downloads file can just fill up your hard drive with unnecessary things. So that's just another suggestion. Now I'm going to go ahead and install CCleaner. CCleaner can be used to clean up temporary files. It'll clear out your web browser history. It'll clear out Windows temporary files and logs. It can wipe out some of your passwords through your web browser. So make sure you know all your passwords to say your Facebook account or your email or anything really. It can wipe your passwords out, like I said, and it will try to, by default, try to install Google Chrome. Just go ahead and uncheck these two boxes here. But running the CCleaner definitely helps improve the performance of the computer. So whenever you run the program, I typically just run the cleaner. I don't normally run the registry cleaner unless I suggest there's some kind of registry issue. I usually just run the normal cleaner. And all you have to do for that is just click Run Cleaner here. Now, if you have stuff in your recycling bin that you're not quite ready to permanently delete, make sure you have the empty recycling bin unchecked. But if you just want everything in your recycling bin to go away anyways, leave it checked. It'll clear your recycling bin out for you. And if you have a specific web browser that you don't want it to clear, if you don't want it to clear like your temporary internet files, for example, you would just uncheck that. And say you wanted to not clean up files from, say, WinRAR, you could go in and you could manually uncheck that, and so on. Then once you have everything unchecked that you may want to uncheck, or have everything and just leave it as default, which is what I'm doing here, is leaving it as default, you click Run Cleaner. It'll ask you if it's okay for it to run the cleaner and delete the files. You click OK. It'll take a minute or two, but it usually doesn't take too long. It'll sit at 3% for a little while, and then it'll jump up as it just did. Now, if you see, this is the low amount. It's saying 30.1 megabits removed. Typically, if you see over 500 megabits, you know that your computer needed to have the CCleaner run on it. You know that it's had a lot of temporary files built up, which were probably slowing your computer down, and you'll probably notice a increase in speed of your computer after running it. Now, the last program we're going to show here is Defraggler. We're going to go ahead and install it now. Now, by default on this first page here, they want to replace Windows disk defragging program. I always uncheck that and leave the disk defragging in case for whatever reason you have to uninstall the Defraggler because it didn't work or whatever, and you want to go back to using the old Windows disk defragmenting program, you can still do that. So I always uncheck that and leave everything else checked and click Install. It installs fairly quickly.
Yeah, you can use your finger for it all you want. But when you take the side,
To run the defraggler, you can run either just a regular defrag by clicking the defrag here, or if you don't have time for a full defrag, which can take a while, if you click the little arrow here, it'll give you an option between defrag and quick defrag. You change it to quick defrag, it'll do quick defrag. Now, if you want the computer to shut down or to close the program when it's done, click on Settings and then just choose the option. Since I don't want the computer to shut down, I'm just going to click Close Program after defrag. So now whenever the program is done doing the quick defrag, which the quick defrag is usually, as the name suggests, quick. Once it's done the quick defrag, it'll just go ahead and close the program out. Now, if you have any questions or have any suggestions or any concerns, just let us know. My email is tech_support@bobjohnson.com if you have any questions. The toll-free number here is 877-202-7788. thank you for your time. This is all for today. If you have any suggestions or questions, just let us know.